The year is 1988. A group of 5 individuals traveling from Japan journey to Egypt's capital, Cairo. However, what would normally take 20 hours on a plane would take them 30 days. This is the Joestar Group, and they have faced many hardships on their expedition in order to defeat the charismatic vampire Devo, using a newfound ability tied to their enemy. Stands. As the Joestar Group journeys through Egypt, they encounter 3 stand users, Ndul, Oingo, and Boingo. After dispatching all 3 foes, the group plans to travel up the Nile in order to get closer to their final destination. Little do they know, however, that along the banks of the Nile, stalking them from the temple of Kamambo to the town of Edfu, a new stand prepares to assault them from the shadows. Khan is a hidden character from 1999's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Heritage for the Future by Capcom. His backstory is that he's just a simple Egyptian barber from the town of Edfu who, by chance, becomes possessed by Anubis after Jotaro and Polnareff enter his barber shop and leave it for him to grab. Khan plays a relatively small role in the story of Stardust Crusaders, being one of the 3 major possession targets by Anubis and being the one with the least development and screen time. Capcom, however, thought this minor appearance was enough for a dedicated hidden character slot in the game, which could have had many better character options. Regardless, Khan is put in the game despite his meager presence, and as a reward, he is considered a bottom 5 character. Arguably bottom 2 if you consider characters like Whole Horse with Oingo and Young Joseph to be better picks. Khan is, simply put, a bad character within the meta of Heritage for the Future, but that doesn't mean I don't love him. So let's talk about Khan. Let's talk about why he's so bad and why I think that is the best. Let's start by talking about Khan's pros, given that it is the shorter and easier thing to do when talking about our favorite barber. He's in bottom 5, but he still has some tricks that Anubis felt like sharing with him. Khan is a very easy character to learn due to his simple moveset. Every move is as straightforward as the last, and you won't have a hard time with combo routing because his B&Bs are easy to do. Khan is a really good character to just pick up, play, and have fun with. Khan has deceptively good movement for a man of his size, having incredibly fast dashes, hops, and his jumping S, which gives him air mobility when entering or leaving your opponent's range. He has one of the best 2As in the game, a fast crouching jab that is used in most of his combos and easily converts into his second super for good damage. Since the hurt box is also low to the ground, you could very easily low profile a large amount of attacks that would hit any other character. He also has a really good dash 2A, which is key for closing in and starting a lot of his major combos. Air interactions work in Khan's favor due to his great jumping B and jumping C being good offensive and defensive options. Jumping S, which was mentioned earlier, is also good in the air as a good anti-air option against characters who rely on jump-ins and cross-ups, like Midler. Khan, like every character that uses Anubis, has a counter which can make some matchups easier to navigate if you counter the right moves. Counter makes the countered move incredibly unsafe on block, as Khan can press any attack button during the block stun of that move to counter the opponent with a normal attack. It also stand crashes when facing active stand opponents, which is always welcome considering active stand characters are some of the strongest in the game. Khan also has a very short hurt box due to him being hunched over all the time, meaning he can low profile a large amount of attacks while standing. As you can imagine, this also makes him harder to hit when he begins to crouch, as it shrinks his hurt box further. Combine this with his movement and good crouching normals, and you have a character who's really fast and really hard to hit. Khan is a passive stand user, which means he cannot be stand crashed. I know it's nebulous, but it's still technically a pro. The best kind of pro. That's it. That's a lot of really good pros. Great movement, solid set of aerial attacks, one of the best normals of the game, and even a half-decent counter. But that's not why we're here now, is it? These are good things, really good things, but we still need to address Khan's overwhelming cons. So let's see what we need to work with. Or in this case, work around. Khan is a very easy character to learn. So, by extension, he's also a very easy character to figure out. Counterplay against Khan is simple, as there are so few things to look out for and so many more things to exploit about him in matchups. 2A is an amazing button, but if that's all you really have, your opponent will adapt very easily. Khan has incredibly unsafe normals, specials, and supers, which can lead to brutal counters. Most normals like 5B and 5C are rarely ever used due to large startup frames and are minus on hit if not cancelled into a super or special. 5A is a better button than those other two, but the short range and slow recovery make it harder to use than 2A. 2B is a worse 2A, being slower than 2A, and its only real use being that it's Khan's safest way to build meter at a distance. 2C is decent and causes a hard knockdown, but it can't be comboed into unless using a jump in. It can't knock down stand-on characters, which are going to be a large majority of the roster, and isn't cancelable into any specials. Khan's dashing normals aren't any better either. Dashing 5C is possibly the worst move in the game. 17 frames of startup, minus on both hit and block, and is not cancelable into anything. You'll even lose out on the follow-up you get from a normal 5C. Dash 5B is marginally better as a surprise tech chase, but has lower damage, higher startup, and is slower than regular 5B. This makes Dash 2A kind of worse, because although yes, it is a good move and acts as Khan's most important combo starter, it is the only dashing attack he can use without being punished, so opponents will just look out for it more. Khan's counter is the worst of the three Anubis characters, and has no frames if the counter activates, but the hit unexpectedly whiffs. The counter can also be punishable on hit in the corner, much like another move we will discuss later. Holding the stand button for too long will make Khan dizzy and put him in a state where he can very easily be punished. Additionally, grounded spin is the worst variation of spin, and should never ever be used. Khan's charge attacks often get in the way because they're too easy to do on accident, and because they are insanely negative, you will often get punished when you do them on accident. Khan also has a DP, but much like Dan's in Street Fighter Alpha, it has no iframes. It also has no horizontal range, and can be punished on hit if used in a combo with too many moves somehow. At least the C variant of it causes a stand crash and is used as a combo ender. Khan's throw, both at mid-screen and corner, is punishable on hit. A long pre-jump means that Khan has a hard time dealing with pressure in the corner without push guard. He also has a guard cancel with a long startup and very short horizontal range, meaning it can be punished very easily unless you cancel it. Khan is a passive stand user, which means he takes chip damage and lacks custom combo and tandem options, which are two of the strongest mechanics in the game, exclusive only to weapon or active stand users respectively. This means that Khan can also get bullied by all of the zoner characters, like Kakyoin, Hull Horse, and Alessi when using his gun. And to top it all off, Khan has the lowest defense value in the game, meaning that he can very easily get chipped down due to his passive stand limitations, or outright get touch of death by certain characters. Despite a list of some good stuff, Khan is really held back by the fact that he is a flimsy and shallow character. A person with so little going on for him in the long term that most people can very easily play into him. A large part of why I think Khan is so bad is because he's provably unfinished and made from scratch. When you look at all the other characters in Heritage for the Future, their movesets have more depth and are clearly more designed gameplay-wise than Khan is. That's because they are variants of already existing characters. They each have longer lists of specials and options off their stand buttons, where Khan only gets 3 specials and 1 option off his stand button. Khan is an unfinished character in a game with one of the most overtuned casts of all time. Of course he's going to struggle against them. But it's not all bad. I mean, Khan isn't the worst character in the game. Not that he's, much better than Mariah, who despite being a finished character is still the most underpowered character in the game, when compared to a literal unfinished joke character. What I mean to say is that there's hope, and despite it all, Khan can win. I forgot to include this in the pros section, mostly because a lot of this stuff is too hard or suboptimal to do in a real match. But Khan has a really good set of advanced stylish combos called the Secret Khanjutsu. These combos look really neat and add some flavor to Khan's simple combo game. Notably, these combos have strict links and only work on certain characters, but you know, there's still something to be considered. One technique I'd like to call attention to is the Confident, which is performed by going back and forth between dash 2A and 2A with each link being one frame. It also scales horribly and takes forever to kill, but is really funny when used to ruin someone's day in a real match. Give them a try if you want, just want to throw it out there. Thanks. The biggest part of winning with Khan is his surprise factor. No one ever expects a Khan main, simply because no one ever plays him in a serious competitive environment. Khan's presence in a tournament immediately invites the opponent to underestimate you and doubt your options, which we will use to our advantage. Switch up how you play in relation to your opponent's status, character, and life leads. This is how you win any game, but it's especially relevant with Khan. Neutral is such an important part of Khan's kit and overall game plan that is hard to ignore. Dash 2A, hit your B&B, then duck out. If you have an advantage, push it. If you have a life lead, play like an absolute rat and lame out your opponent with his great movement. Khan relies on that surprise factor with the community's view of him to subvert expectation and succeed. Yes, he is bad, but he's good enough to win most matchups if you try hard enough. It's going to be harder fighting Avdol than JoJo, of course, but it's still possible. Matchup knowledge is also of great importance to Khan, as he has so few neutral matchups and even fewer where they end up in his favor. So let's discuss a lot of the major ones right now. You see this tier list? You see that S and SS tier at the top there? You will not win these matchups without struggling, especially against the SS tiers Kakyoin and Pet Shop. Both Kakyoin and Pet Shop are banned in most competitions because of their consistent unblockables and excellent buttons. They are not to be fucked with. Most matchups at A tier are also very difficult with the exception of Midler, who is surprisingly even on the Khan matchup chart because of his strong movement and pokes. Alessi, what's this? Tonight you will get your dick ripped off. That doesn't sound too promising now, does it? Alessi is among Khan's worst matchups, and beating him is improbable due to his pistol and long-range stand attacks. I'd argue he's just as bad as Kakyoin in Pet Shop because of how effectively he can zone and chip you out. Cow form is very funny though. Old Joseph is a neutral matchup due to both him and Khan relying on a strong neutral game, where Khan holds the advantage in movement, but Old Joseph having the higher damage output and reach. Pay attention to pokes and it should be a fun match. Iggy is a bad matchup due to his sandballs shutting you out at range, and a strong neutral presence because of his unique size. Most of Khan's strong neutral moves will just straight up whiff against Iggy in standoff mode. Oki against Iggy is also bad, as you only really have dash 2A because jumping C won't hit. Iggy, on the other hand, has plenty of Oki options like Sandball 50/50s, Sand Dog, and Tandem from 5C. Whole Horse is a lot like Alessi. High chip damage from range and high damage overall in combos is nasty for Khan to fight. To fight Whole is an exercise in patience, as you must play super cautiously around him while also maintaining a strong approach, which is very difficult to do because of Whole Horse's high zoning potential. Black Polnareff is similar in scale to you, except he can outdamage you and has more options while you have the better movement. This is much like Old Joseph. Just play a better neutral against Beepole and lame him out when you have the life lead and you should win. Young Joseph is a slightly good matchup. Just use your mobility to outmaneuver him and his projectiles and deal damage. JoJo is on the easier side of Khan's more neutral matchups, but you should also just keep an eye out. Hoingo is just Whole Horse but worse. But because he's Whole Horse, he's still a bad matchup for Khan. Same tips for regular Whole Horse apply here, but at least this matchup isn't as hard or as frustrating as base Whole Horse is. This last matchup is Khan's best, without a shadow of a doubt. Mariah. Mariah is the worst character in the game by a college mile. Bad gimmick, passive stand, throw loopable, long startup on everything, She really is the worst. And as a fast character who can invalidate her zoning attempts in flimsy pressure, you absolutely dominate the matchup. There is no neutral against Mariah. Play like Vanilla Ice or Jotaro and just constantly approach. Her main setups are too slow against your fast pressure options. Be mindful of outlets, and this should be a dominating win for the Conqueror. Low-tier characters are an unavoidable aspect in any fighting game. There will naturally be characters who are not as good as others, and that's fine. However, there are so truly few awful characters in fighting games, and I think that's interesting. It takes a special kind of dev cycle to make a character so abysmally dogshit they have no chance of recovery. Heritage is one of those games, and that character is Mariah. Although I've given Khan a lot of love, and I've torn him down, this game will never receive an update again. Khan will be stuck like this forever, flaws and all. Which makes this harder to talk about because Khan is an enigma. You'd think maining a character as bad as he is would be miserable, but I, along with several other people who enjoy him, really enjoy him. I think the same could be said about any low tier in any fighting game. It's hard, it's unfortunate, it's probably more effort than it's worth, but in the end, Khan to me is just a fun and unique character to play. I play him for the same reason I play Q in Street Fighter 3. I play him for the same reason people play Ganondorf in Smash, and it's the same reason my friend who introduced me to the game, Snowy Manta, plays her main, Mariah, in this game. Because they're fun characters to us. A character being bad doesn't suddenly make them unfun, you know. A poorly designed character does. But even then, Khan fits that label too. He's an unfinished hidden character in a game where everyone feels whole. He is poorly designed by virtue of existing, but I think that makes him more fun and engaging than anyone else on the cast. Khan is the worst, and that's the best. This video wouldn't be possible without some very special places or people who helped me develop the video, whether directly or indirectly. I'd like to thank the Super Combo Wiki for Khan's frame data and in-depth matchup knowledge. The JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Heritage for the Future Discord for their great community and regular tournaments. Mr. Mixtape for their amazing videos on Heritage for the Future, as well as Big Yellow for their equally amazing videos on other fighting games. My friends Sauce, Sliced, and Lemon Sky Ryan for helping me record gameplay and giving me advice during the editing process, respectively. And my friend Snowy Manta for introducing me to Heritage for the Future in the first place. Thank you so much for helping me find this game. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of you for watching until the end and giving me your time. I usually stream every weekday from 7 PM till 9 PM UK time usually, though I am taking a break throughout August. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great night. I'll see you next time. Peace.